Hello, hello. Welcome back to 2.5. We are covering part 3 here, where we take a look at graphing lines again. However, we are going to take a look at a different method of graphing where we do not make a table of values. Okay, so take notes. 2.5, part 3, intro to functions, graphing lines, revisited. Okay, so let's take a look at graphing lines that are written in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form. And if you forgot what slope-intercept form is, that's the one where it's y equals mx plus b, when it's written like this, where we can identify the slope and the y-intercept, hence the name, slope-intercept form. Okay, so if you remember before, when we were graphing lines, we used to make a table of values, which can take some time depending on the equation. So now what we're going to be doing is we are not going to make a table. So let's just kind of take a look here at this equation. So two very important pieces of information that we can extract from the equation is the slope, which is rise over run, right? Which is rise over run. Okay, and this here, which is our y-intercept. So we always know a point, okay? We always know a point, happens to be the y-intercept, and we always know the slope when it's written in this form, okay? So this form is really quite nice. It's nice for graphing as well, because if we can extract those two pieces of information, then we don't have to make a table of values to graph the equation. Okay, so let's have a look. Suppose that I want to graph y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, I'm not going to make a table. Again, it needs to be written in this form, not standard form where the x and the y terms are on the same side. It needs to be written in this form, which is slope-intercept form, where the y is by itself. Okay, when it's written like this, then you can use this sort of little shortcut. Okay, so here I know that my slope is 2, which is the same as 2 over 1. Okay, and I know that here my y-intercept is the 0.0, -1. That's all I need to do the graph. So when I graph, okay, so when I graph this, all I have to do is plot this point. So 0, -1 is right over here. So I plot the y-intercept, and then I just do my slope starting at the y-intercept. So here, my slope is rise 2 and run 1, right? Because slope is rise over run. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we do the slope at the y-intercept. So at this point, 0, -1, I'm going to rise 2. So that means I'm going to go here. I start right here at this y-intercept, and I rise 2, 1, 2, and I run 1. Okay? So I got that second point from rising 2, 1, 2, and run 1. Okay? And there's my graph. Okay? If this were negative 2, then you would actually, from your y-intercept, you would go down 2, run 1. Okay? So let's take a look at another one. Let's go ahead and graph y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2. Okay, so here's my slope. So if you notice here, I intentionally put the negative kind of neutral. And it doesn't matter, again, it doesn't matter where your negative goes. You can apply it to the numerator, middle, denominator. It still means that the 2/3 is negative as opposed to positive 2/3. Okay, so for simplicity, I'm going to go ahead and write it so it's in the numerator. So there's my slope. And then over here, my graph is, my y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Okay? Again, those are the only two pieces of information I need in order to graph the line. Okay, so 0, negative 2, that's down here. And then from there, so this is negative 2, so here I'm actually going to go down, and then positive 3 is to the right. Okay, so I'm going to go down 2, and you always start at your y-intercept. So down 2, and then right 3. Okay, so my point would be right over here. So down 2 and right 3. And there's your slope. Okay, now let me just show you another way to do this. Let's suppose that you put the negative with the 3 instead, okay? Because again, I've made it so that it's in the middle so that you get to choose, okay? So if, I'm just going to do a little aside here. I'm just going to show you that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you put the negative with the 2 or with the 3. So here I put it with the numerator. So that meant go down 2. Now I'm going to show you what happens if I take this negative and put it with the 3. So my slope would be positive 2 over negative 3. Okay, you still have this point. Okay, so when I graph this, so here, since the 2 is positive, I'm going to go up because it's positive. And since the 3 is negative, I will go to the left. Okay, so 0, negative 2. So 0, negative 2 is over here. And so it says 2 up, 1. So now I'm going up instead. 1, 2, and then 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And you see here that you still get the exact same line. Okay. If I were to extend this, you see that we do cross that point right over there. Okay. Which is this one over here. Okay, so it doesn't matter when you have a negative slope, it doesn't matter where you place the negative. You can place it in the numerator, in which case you would go down, or you can place it in the denominator, in which case you would go to the left. Okay, just remember positives on the y, positives on the y are up. Positives on the x are to the right. Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to have you guys try this one. Okay, so try this. Graph y equals negative. Here. Actually, let's start off with this one. Okay, negative 3x plus 2. Okay, so go ahead and graph this one. Hit the pause button and come right back. Okay, so right here we have our slope. Slope equals negative 3, and our y-intercept is 0, 2. So let's go ahead and graph this. 0, 2. So 0, 2 is right here. And then from there, my slope is negative 3. And negative 3 is the same as negative 3 over 1. So this, since it's negative, I will go down. And this one is positive, so I will go right. Okay, so I'm going to go from my y-intercept, go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then over to the right 1. And that's your graph. Okay, try this one. And this will be the last one. Graph y equals negative 3/4 x plus 1. Okay, so again, you get to choose where you want to place the negative, with the 3 or with the 4. Okay, go ahead and give this a try. Hit the pause button and come right back. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and choose to make the 3 the negative. And then here, I know I have the 0.01. Okay. And this is negative, so this will go down and then to the right. All right, so 0, 1, it's right here. And then we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the graph that you should have gotten. Okay. All right, so that is it. That is sort of the short way of graphing these. And again, it has to be in slope intercept form. If it's written in standard form, so if you have an equation that's written like this, you have to either use a table of values or you have to rewrite this in this form, and then you can use this sort of shortcut. But to me, if you have to rewrite it, that's going to take just as much time as it takes to find 2 points. Okay, so here when it's in standard form, I just find the intercepts. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you email me or you text me if you have any questions. Okay, make sure you keep up with the homework. You guys have a test coming up. I'll see you next time.